How's it going, YouTube? Today I got my coffee. It's Monday morning, and we are gonna be answering questions from Quora. Gonna do something different today. No gameplay right now. No speed labs are. We're gonna be doing questions from Quora, and thought I was gonna sneeze, but I'm not. Okay, that's good. No sneeze. No sneeze today. There's a no sneeze zone. I got my coffee. And it is time to answer questions from Quora. Quora is a website over here, and it's got a lot of different questions and stuff like that. Questions here, questions there, questions everywhere. I uh I guess one day I was scrolling around and I saw Quora questions. Okay, I guess I'll log into that and give it a try. And I always get bombarded with emails about people asking me questions and stuff like that. So I figured, you know what? Let's go ahead, grab the tiger by the tail, and turn this into YouTube content. And that is what we're going to do. So, top request this week. Here is the question of the hour. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get some coffee. Mmm, warms the soul. Uh, I am bundled up with my I got I got a hoodie, I got a jacket, I got my hoodie over here, I got my skull cap, I got all sorts of stuff because I do not have heat in my house. We are roughing it. We are straight up roughing it. We're men over here. All right. All right. I can't wait for that gas tank to get refilled. Oh my god, it's freezing cold. I hope everybody's bundled up wherever you are. I hope you're bundling up and, getting a lot done today. So let's start off this morning with some questions. So, question one, let's go. Pete Combs requested my answer to this. How does an artist keep their creativity from tapering off? That's the question right there. Uh, I don't know. Personally, I can only speak from experience. Um, when I feel like like I feel like I hit a block, like I hit a block, and I just can't draw anything, or I just don't feel like drawing, I'll put on some anime, or I'll go to my bookshelf over there in my room and I'll pick out a manga to read. Usually it's Battle Angel Alita. I got the omnibus, so I got a few omnibuses of Battle Angel Alita Last Order. I gotta catch up. Um, I've been waiting on the new movie to come out. Um, I know some people are like, oh, live action, live action version of anime. That's gotta suck. I don't know. I mean, it looks really good. The only thing that I didn't like is the poster where it had Alita and she's got a sword in her hand. Alita never had a sword. She had the Imaginos blade that came off her arm and stuff like that, or something like I can't really remember exactly what it was, but in Last Order it comes off her arm. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to the movie, but I'm veering off here. Yeah. Uh, Let me come back from that tangent. I read manga or I watch an anime, and usually something, or I play a video game real quick for 30 minutes or an hour, and then I'll just sit there like, damn, that was fun. I got an idea, and bam, there we go. Not tapering off anymore, and it takes discipline. It takes discipline to stop for a second and go and recharge your batteries. That's what you're doing. You're recharging your batteries. So that's what's up. Okay. Second question comes from Walter Adamson. Request your answer to this. What is the difference, if any, between creativity and imagination, and in particular in their application? Uh, I think your imagination is something that, oh my god, what kind of oh shit. That feels like they're both the same word. to me, creativity and imagination, man, it feels like they're the same. They're the same thing. I mean, you got to be creative with something. Okay, okay. Let me think here. Let me think here. Imagination is the thoughts running through your head, and creativity is when you take those thoughts in your head and you apply them to your craft. To me, that's what it is. At first glance, I'm like, oh well, that's the same thing. But upon further retrospective, yeah, that's what it is. Imagination is what you got going on through your head at all times, and it's something. Your imagination is something that you use. Your imagination is what you use to come up with something creative. Bam. There's your answer. Thank you, Walter Adams, for the question. Pete Combs asked me another question. Thank you, Pete Combs. You got a lot of questions, and you know what? I got a lot of answers for you. Not a lot of people have answers, but come here to this channel, and you will get your answers, my friend. I'm telling you, answers today. All right, Pete Combs asks, which artist would like it most that people are calling them genius now? Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso, and I will tell you why. Because that dude chopped his ear off and gave it to his girl. That dude, he had a couple problems, and he died in poverty. You know, and now, I mean, I'm sure he was real hungry. He was hungry, man. He was hungry, and I'm sure he didn't get any recognition while he was still alive. You know what that does to somebody? To work your ass off and not be recognized for it? Oh man, it's happened to me. It's happened to me a lot. And you know what? I from personal experience, I think Pablo Picasso, if he were to come back and see somebody calling him a genius, I think the dude would break down crying and saying thank you, man. That guy, he chopped his own ear off. And they have grafting stuff now, so they could reattach his ear or just make a new one and put it on. I don't know. I'm just making shit up now. Now I'm just going off in the sci-fi era over here and shit. Mm, good coffee. Thank you for the question, Pete. Alfonso Cosby. Alfonso Cosby asks, if you could choose any music artist to be president, who would it be and why? Oh man, either Most Def, Common, or Talib Kweli. I kind of want to say Immortal Technique, but I don't know why. I think the dude would turn into a warmonger because he is so freaking aggressive. The dude is aggressive. Um, Talib Kweli, not taking anything away from Immortal Technique being a great artist, not taking anything away from him. He's really aggressive in the way that he does this shit, and I think when you're a president, I think that you gotta have some diplomacy about yourself, and you gotta walk tall and carry a big stick. But at the same time, you can't be smacking people all over the place with a fucking stick, you know. So that's why Immortal Technique gets out of there. So let's break that down. Three people: Talib Kweli, Most Def, and Talib Kweli, Most Def, and Common. Kanye is not even in there. That dude, he is egotistical. He's egotistical. I mean, he even says he's egotistical. And you can't be egotistical when you're looking out for the people. You just can't, you know? So, that's my thoughts on it. Most Def, Talib Kweli, I think they would appreciate the position and they would do whatever is necessary to maintain it and be the best president that they could be. Um, I know Wyclef made a song. If I was the president, that's what it sounds like. Um, I don't know enough about Wyclef. The reason that I say Taliquali, Most Def and Common is because they put themselves in their songs. So it's like you do know them, you know? Wyclef, I'm sure he has some personal songs out there. I really liked Gone to November. That was a great song. I'll be gone to November. I'll be gone to November. January, February, March, April, May is a good song right there. Good song. Very deep. I don't know if he would be a good president. I don't know enough about him. That's pretty much what it is. What it breaks down to. When an artist puts themselves in their songs or in anything that they do, and I respect that a lot. I do. I do. Next question. Dana Reyes Norton. Dana Reyes Norton. Let me put the roll that R right there. And she is an orchestra teacher at Nebo School District. Pretty cool, pretty cool. The question Dana asked is, what are some practical ways to make a living as an artist? Uh, it takes some practice, but inking, being a colorist, uh, doing flats for comics and stuff like that. Doing flats for comics is very time consuming and very, it takes a lot of concentration to do it. It's not as hard as being a penciler, because a penciler, you got to get a lot of stuff right. You got to get the anatomy right. You got to get the posture right. You got to get the movement right. You got to get the flow of the page right. There's a lot riding on being a penciler. There's a lot riding on a penciler. And if you mess up, you got to go back and fix that. And that is a lot of work. So being a flatter, there's not as much writing at being a flatter. If you mess up, you can select the magic wand. That's the wrong color. Boom, magic wand, select it. Change the hue. Is that better? Good. It's perfect. If you're a penciler, you gotta erase shit. You gotta erase this leg because it's wrong. It's too long. The proportions are wrong. Everything is wrong. You gotta fix this now. We got a deadline. Let's go. Time's a wasting. Penciler has a lot riding on him. If you wanted to get into something that didn't take as much, where a lot of responsibility wasn't dropped on your shoulders, and you weren't shouldering the whole damn project, I would, as far as comics go, flatting, being a flatter, because I mean it's time intensive and it takes a lot of concentration, but it's easier to fix stuff. That's just the way it is. If you're an inker, it's it's another discipline. It's another discipline, and it takes time to do. And again, if something is messed up, then if you're a traditional inker, I think, yeah, I know because I have done traditional inking before, and that whiteout, man, I use a lot of whiteout on my inking before I switched over to digital. I've done traditional and I've done digital, and I gotta say, digital is the best way to go as far as inking because there is a lot more room for messing up. And if you mess up, you can fix it on the fly. Uh, Traditional. Oh wow, you pretty much gotta cut that whole panel out and put in a new one and ink that shit. There's a lot more writing on that shit. And then you got to get the whole light box, and then you got to get the white out, and then you got to get all this shit prepared and ready, the ruler and everything. Oh my god, it's a whole production. Um, Practical ways to make a living as an artist: being a flatter for comics, uh, being a digital inker because you can fix your mistakes easier. Uh, Practical ways. There's a lot. Okay, I'm just gonna list different ways because the level of difficulty, honestly, it varies from artist to artist and person to person. So I'm just gonna list different ways that you could do art and make a living at it. You could be an inker, penciler, flatter, uh, I don't know if lettering counts as an art, but it kind of does. If you're gonna do the sound effects by hand, I imagine that yeah, that's that's still an art in a way. Yeah, I mean if you're gonna do the sound effects, then so yeah, being a letterist is also really good. You could do that. A cover artist, you could be a cover artist. You could be a pinup artist. You can be you can do illustrations for children's books. You can do illustrations for textbooks in schools. You can do illustration work. You can do design work. You can do drafting. You can draft. You could learn how to draw things to scale and stuff like that, and learn how to draw blueprints. There's a lot of different stuff that an artist can do. You can design clothing. You can design um, products for companies and stuff like that. You can design a lot of different things. Logos, let's not forget logos. There's a lot of different ways that you can make money as an artist. That's why you can't tie yourself down to one thing. Because if you want to make a living at being an artist, it's best to be proficient at more than one thing. Be a jack of all trades because you'll make more money at it. You could be the greatest inker in the world, but not a lot of people are looking for an inker. Like you won't get money, you won't get gigs every single month and pay your rent. But if you're proficient, proficiency means that you are good at it. You aren't the best there ever was, but you are good enough to make at least a C or a B on that grade point average right there. So that's what I think. That's my opinion on that. Next question. Let's go. One more question because I'm going to go for 20 minutes at least. I want to go for at least 20 minutes. All right. Alex Alexandru Peste from Florence, Italy asks, as a scientist. Oh, he thinks I'm a scientist. I love it. I, somebody called me stupid the other day. So it makes me happy that somebody thinks I'm a scientist. Okay, let's give this a shot. As a scientist, how do you feel compared to artists? Do you ever think that while you spend your time studying how the world is made, artists pass it by living the world? As a scientist. As a scientist, how do you feel compared to artists? Do you ever think that while you spend your time studying how the world is made, artists pass it by living the world? I think there are. I wouldn't. Let me go back. Hold on a sec. Okay, we're back. Hi, how's it going? All right. Let's get into this. I think that there are scientists out there that are strictly book taught. There are scholastic, and there are some that will never make it outside the classroom, and just teach what they think. I'm not a scientist, by the way. Thank you for thinking it. I draw a lot of sci-fi stuff and robots and stuff, but I'm not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm gonna give my answer as best as I can, and I'm gonna try to move on to the next question because I am not very schooled in this question. Scientists. I believe that there are some scientists that are scholastic, and all they know is what they read from a book and theorize. And I believe that there are some scientists out there that get out there in the world and they live that world, and then they experience things, and they epiphanies happen. Epiphanies happen, and they live and they experience the world too. And then they'll take that back to the lab, and then they'll study it, and then they'll break it down, and then they'll come out with a new and improved theorem as to what something is and why something is. The same way that an artist does. an artist lives throughout the world, they get inspired by it, and then they go back to their desk and they draw and they come up with something amazing because they live that world and it triggered some sort of inspiration. That I honestly believe that is two things that artists have in common with scientists. We are experimental in the way that we come about things. We're always experimenting with stuff. Artists, any artist is worth their salt, and any artist that is memorable always pulls in from the world and is inspired by it, and then they put it into their art. A scientist walks out into the world, they're inspired by it, they go back into the lab and they create something great. That's my answer. I think they both have something in common, and I think that's the commonality that they both have. Okay, thank you for the question, Alexander. Next question, Alexandro, my bad. Next question. Raj requested your answer for this. Is self-hypnosis really useful for self-improvement? Oh, man. um, I'm not experienced enough to answer this question, so I'm gonna move on. Sorry, Raj. Sorry, Ratchet. I'm gonna I don't want to give the wrong answer, so I'm not gonna answer it. Okay. How do comic book artists maintain perfect character proportion in each depiction? Okay, here we go. Okay, so for one thing, the way that I do it is I draw it and then I'll flip the canvas because this is a technique called novu oculus, and that means new eyes in Latin. And it's a technique called novel oculus. And what you do is it's similar to when you're drawing in real life and you take a mirror and you look in the mirror and you see all your imperfections, including proportion inaccuracies. So that is how we maintain the right proportion per character in each panel. We flip the canvas or we take a mirror to it and we look at it and we see our mistake and then we fix it right on the bat. That's how it works with that. Another way that we maintain character proportion or character design is we draw up. Some of us draw up a character sheet, and then we'll post that up over there on the wall while we draw, and we make sure that we maintain that same exact design per drawing of each panel. A way that they used to do it back in the day to save time and stuff like that. Sometimes they would take the character, like if they gotta draw one panel is the character doing this, and the character doing this. What they would do is they would draw that character once. They would take it to the Xerox machine, print it out, and then put it underneath the next panel, and they would trace over it and change the face slightly. So that way they would maintain the exact same drawing, but in a different way. That way it's sequentially perfect. That is another way that they used to do it back in the day. Our traditional artists do it. So thank you, Jack Tyrrell, for the question. Next question. This is gonna be the last one. I'm sorry because I am past my 20-minute mark. But here we go. Where can I hire a comic book artist from, and how much do they usually cost? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, from my experience, Facebook has a lot of starving artists like me that are looking to get some dough doing comics. Um, the more you want the artist to do per page, they are going to charge you more. Like let me stop saying they'll, because I'm a freaking comic artist. Okay, so the way that we work, okay, all right. Okay, per illustration, I charge $150 for a grayscale, And for full color, I charge 300. Okay, and then each additional it's 10 additional dollars for every for a revision fee, because everything after the approved sketch, I'm gonna need to charge for that. So that's how I would do it. As far as illustrations go, comics are different, because it would be unfair of me to charge $300 per panel. There are like five. It would be up to five panels, up to five panels per page. That will be $300. That would be like $1,500 freaking dollars or something like that, per page, and nobody's gonna freaking pay that. I'm sorry. I know I wouldn't pay that. I know I wouldn't. So the going rate, the professional rate for a penciler is $70, but that's like Marvel or DC. If you go to indie artists, we'll usually charge like 40 or 50 for penciling a page, and then and from there it'll go up. That's for the pencils. If you want it to be inked also, that will be an additional charge. And then if you want it full color, that will be also an additional charge. And also there's the revision fees. For me, I do revision fees because after the fact, it's gonna start costing not only time, it'll cost time, and if someone's a traditional artist, it'll cost materials. So there's that too. Don't forget. Some people are really gung ho about, oh, traditional art is more beautiful, yada yada, but you forget about the materials. Oh, materials cost a lot of money. Oh man, let me tell you, I'm a digital artist, and the reason I like digital so much is because one, it's clean, and two, I don't have to keep paying for ink. Ink ink pens run out like crazy. I don't like having to go out to buy more ink pens. That's the thing that bothers me the most. And pencils, pencils don't run out as much as ink pens do. Ink pens, I wish ink pens ran out in the same amount of time as pencils do, because it's really not as much as ink pens. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This is fun. I like this. I really like this. Good stuff. I hope to see you again. And, keep asking those questions on Quora. I love answering these questions. It's pretty fun. All right. All right. That's all for now, everybody. Go check out my website, blackencephalon.net. You can see all my artwork and stuff like that. I've been binding my own books. Boom. Eternal. Bam. My books are $12 each. You want to hit me up on the PM? I will send you a copy. Not counting shipping and handling, which will probably be $3.50. I don't know. I never had to ship one of these yet. I got like 13 in stock. So yeah. Anyways, that's all for now. This broadcast is brought to you by the letter 7. I'm kidding. There's no sponsors for this right now. For now, we'll see where this goes. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Go check out my website. It's in the description down there. Or if you're on Facebook, it's over there. Yada, yada, yada. So far and so forth. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Peace.